If you've been following along, you'll know that I've covered a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 Easter eggs already. The crazy thing is, I've barely scratched the surface when it comes to covering them all, so that's what I'm going to do, cover every single Easter egg in Red Dead Redemption 2. This video will be part 1, but I expect there to be many more parts to come. In this video, I'll include all of the Easter eggs I've made videos on so far, just so we have them all in one video, but I'll try and keep my explanations as brief as possible, and of course, we'll feature some Easter eggs that have never been seen on this channel. So sit back and relax, it's going to be one hell of a ride. We'll start small here, and it's actually a reference to one of the characters from the original Red Dead Redemption. With Red Dead 2 being a prequel, we will see a lot of familiar faces including Bill Williamson, Javier Escuela, and of course John Marston. One character is mentioned in a note if you head to this location.
Whoa! I thought you was already gone!
Tell her I never stop.
Now, if you weren't aware, Bonnie McFarlane is the lady that saved John's life at the beginning of the original Red Dead. After that, he spent a lot of time on her ranch, carrying out chores as a way of thanking her. Now, I'm still working my way through this massive game. I may have completed it by now if I didn't spend so damn long in the swamps chasing ghosts. More on that later. But she hasn't made an appearance yet, so I'll have to wait and see. As I said, John Marston is in the game pretty much from the beginning, and it's incredibly weird seeing him in this game knowing how things end for him. Anyway, in Red Dead 2, you can interact with almost anyone. You can say hello, goodbye, or, and this is the fun part, you can antagonise people. Well, when the game first released, I spent a lot of time antagonising members of my gang at our camp. I was walking around without a care in the world, telling everyone what I thought of them when John seemed to take exception.
Another fine meal of rotten onions and spoiled meat. Why do you keep hassling me? I swear, it tastes better coming...
Stop it! Now!
Something which I wasn't expecting with Red Dead 2 was the seriously creepy vibe this game sometimes has, especially at night. This isn't helped by the creepy Easter eggs Rockstar have added to this world, and that's what we're going to take a look at now. At this location, you can find what appears to be an abandoned house. All the doors and windows are seemingly boarded up, bar one window upstairs. If you climb onto a cart next to the house, you can actually get into the house through this window, though you might have wished you didn't. So it seems that somebody was trying to create some sort of mutant creature made up of human and animal body parts. One of the notes in the room seems to suggest that the creation was ready and prepped for surgery, whatever that means. Whether this is some sort of creature we see featured in a DLC pack like Undead Nightmares, or if it's just something that Rockstar added to get us talking, we'll have to wait and find out. Sticking with the creepy theme now, we're off to the Braithwaite Manor. If you head to the back of the manor ground, you can find an outhouse. Now before we carry on, I'm glad that other people thought that this looked like the toilet from Shrek. I'm from the UK where we never had toilets like these, and I don't know if all the outside toilets in the States looked like this, but every time I see one, I think of Shrek. Anyway, I got a little sidetracked talking about toilets. This outhouse contains something way worse than an ogre.
Who's out there? Somebody's out there. What do you want? Want a kiss? Find a way home! You silly! Oh, bastard! Oh! 1, 2, 3, 7, 6, 4, 5, 11, 2, 1, 2, 10, 3, 5, 8, 13.
Now, many people have speculated what the counting means. Some say that it could be some sort of cheat code. Others have said it's a phone number. I mean, she did ask for a kiss after all. Me personally, I think it's the money Rockstar predicted they will make from this game. I and many other people believe that she's a relative of the Braithwaite family, locked in the toilet due to her mental health issues. And, as Arthur notes, the world ain't a kind place to folk like her.
1, 2, 3, 7.
One final creepy Easter egg is the appearance of a ghost. Just like in GTA 5 when we had the ghost appear at Mount Gordo, there's a ghost in Red Dead 2. She appears around this location and can be heard talking. Take a listen.
I miss you.
Easy.
I miss you so much. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting. Love the very grandest thing. Come back to me. He's going to come back to me. Honest. He will too. I just know he will, Mother. I just know he will. Mother, you can be so unkind. So very unkind. It ain't like that. It ain't like that at all. Daddy! Daddy, I forgave him. Why can't you? Daddy! Daddy, no! Put down the gun! Daddy, put down the gun! Do it for me! Or you'll go. But what am I to do? I gave you everything. Everything. No one will have me now. You said all them things.
It seems that she had some sort of disagreement with her mum and dad about a relationship with a boy. Her dad seemingly wanted to shoot the boy, but the girl said that she had forgiven him. Forgiven him for what? I don't know. I also find it strange that she's the one that seems to be dead in this situation. Who killed her? My money's on the lover. With all the talk of ghosts and mutants, let's also briefly cover the Witch's Cauldron. At this location, you can find a hut made up of tree branches. Inside the hut is a cauldron. Now, I know I've said Witch's Cauldron, and we don't actually see a witch, but I mean, come on, who else brews things in a cauldron apart from my mother-in-law? Anyway, what would you do if you found an abandoned hut with a potion inside? Why, drink it, of course. After you passed out, you wake up away from the hut in the middle of nowhere. I mean, let's face it, it could have been worse. On to something a little bit more light-hearted now, as we take a look at some small structures in the game. For some reason, at this location you can find a tiny church.
Easy, easy.
Quite why there is a tiny church in the middle of the swamps, I don't know. It certainly makes a change from all the spooky stuff that goes on out there. Next we have what looks like a home that would be fit for a hobbit. With this one you can inspect it and Arthur wonders what I think we're all wondering. who lived here. There are also a couple of Easter eggs referencing outer space. First up, we can find the sites of 2 crashed meteors. The first and biggest site can be found here. It's a large crater with not much to see, but the second site is a bit more gruesome. At this location, you can find a house which was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What the hell?
Again, knowing Rockstar, there has to be more to this. I can't imagine they would place something like this into the game and leave it there. This is certainly one that's worth keeping an eye on. The meteors are not the only things that are from space. We also have spaceships. Yep, spaceships. I mean, we can't really prove they weren't around back then. It's not like you could whip out your phone and Snapchat a UFO, but the 2 sightings in this game are pretty obvious, so you would hope they would have been documented somewhere. First up, we have the abandoned house at this location. If you head inside, you can find loads of skeletons and other creepy stuff. You can also find this creepy note. The most important part to take from that note is the time. It basically means come back at around 2 AM. So go and take a nap outside and head back at 2 AM to see this. Unfortunately, I didn't capture the best shot of it. To be honest, I can't believe this even happened. The next sighting though, well, that's a lot clearer. If you head to this location and stand on the mountain at night, you'll see this. Pretty cool, right? Again, with this being Rockstar, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on this one. So that's about it for part 1. As I said, I'll be covering every Easter egg in Red Dead Redemption 2, so if you want to see them all, then click the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss an upload. If you enjoyed the video, then a like is really appreciated and it really does help. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.